We last solved equations using addition and subtraction, so now we're going to do this with multiplication or division. We're continuing on with the standard 8.EE.7, which is solve linear equations in one variable. So let's start with the word problem. Maybe take this a little context. Say friends and I bought 4 tickets for a Bulls game. All right, we want to go see Derrick Rose play before he gets hurt again. If the tickets cost $260, then we want to know how much was each ticket. And this seems like a pretty standard thing, right? Somebody buys tickets and you say, how much do I owe you for each ticket? And they said, well, I paid $260. There's 4 tickets, so now we got to figure out how much that is. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, we'll say the number of tickets, do we know how many that is? Well, we're going to take the number of tickets, we're going to multiply it by the cost of each ticket, and that's going to give us the total cost. So the number of tickets is 4. I'm multiplying that with the cost of the ticket, which we don't know what it is, so let's call that T, and that's going to equal to $260. All right, so now we're going to do 4T is equal to $260. Well, if I'm multiplying, right, if I have 4 of these tickets, then I want to divide them up into 1 ticket each. So what I'm going to do is I'll break this up into 4, right? Divide this into 4, divide this by 4. And what I'm going to do here is rewrite it. And then I'm going to show this stuff by saying, okay, now I'm going to divide this side by 4, and I'm going to divide this side by 4. Okay, you can draw this line down the middle if you'd like to, so you stay consistent with what we did in the last lesson. And what I'm showing here is I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Okay, remember, whatever I do to one side of the equation, I need to do to the other side in order to maintain a balance, maintain equality between these two sides. So I'm going to do 4t. If I break this, if I take 4 tickets, right, and I make 4 groups, then I'll have 1 ticket. And if I take $260 and I make 4 groups, then I'm going to end up with 65. So each ticket was $65. Okay? So that's the beginning there. So let's take a look and just practicing solving here. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through the first 2. I'll give you a couple for you to do on your own, and then that'll be it. Okay, so here we have x being multiplied by -6. That's equal to 48. So what's happening to x here? I'm multiplying it, so let's rewrite the equation. Okay, and then I'm going to do the opposite of it. So I'm multiplying by -6, so I'm going to divide this, okay, into groups. So I'm going to divide this by -6, divide this by -6, and I get 48 divided by 6 is 8. And a positive, this is positive, right? Divided by a negative is going to give me -8. And let's check it. So let's see. If we do -6 and we multiply it by -8, do we get -40 or do we get positive? Well, negative, right? Do we get 48? Well, negative times a negative is a positive, and 6 times 8 is 48, right? And 48 does equal, so it works. Okay, let's take a look over here. This one we have 9 is equal to something divided by 7. Okay, so what I have is I have some number. I'm breaking it into 7 groups, and then each group has 9, right? So I have some number divided by 7 is equal to 9. Okay, a number divided by 7 is equal to 9. All right, so since I'm dividing something by 7, okay, I'm going to multiply. Well, oops, I don't need to rewrite this again. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to divide this into 7 groups. I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. Okay, and this is going to tell me the number I have before I divide it into 7 groups, right? So it's sort of saying, okay, I have some number, I divide it into 7 groups. Well, let's get 7 of those back together to see what I started with. Well, 7 times 9 is 63. So 63 will be equal to W, okay? Because this is the number of groups I made. Okay, then I'm going to say, okay, well, if I have 7 of those, then I'm going to back to my original amount, which is W. W is equal to 63. And then we're going to test it. So we'll say 9 is equal to, does it equal to 63 divided by 7? Okay, another way of looking at this is you had something, right? So you have 7. You have W divided by 7. You have 7 groups, and in each group is 9. So that's why you end up multiplying them to get 63. Okay, so in this case, does 63 divided by 7 equal? Yes, it does, and I'm good. All right, why don't you go ahead, you pause the video and try it yourself. Okay, hopefully you could just see the answer here, right? And you look at this saying like 2 times 9 is 18. But the idea what we're doing here is we want to practice how we get the answer, because if you can see how you get to the answer, then I'm hoping that you can use that method and use it on other problems where you can't just see it, or if it's a decimal or something like that, you'll know what to do. Okay, so this says I have 2 of x is equal to 18. Well, I don't want to know what 2 of these is. I want to know what one of them. So let's break it into 2 parts, right? Divide by 2. That's going to leave me with 1x. And what's in there? Well, that's equal to 9. Okay, so let's check it. 2 times 9, does that equal 18? And yes, it does. 2 times 9 is 18. It works. Okay, try another one here. You go ahead and try this one. Pause the video. Here, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rewrite my equation here. 60 is equal to negative 5x. Okay, I don't want to know what negative 5 of x is. I want to know just what one of them is. So I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 5. Okay, draw the line down so I know, okay, both sides. And you can see the difference between this step and this step is. It's the same step, but now what I'm doing is I'm dividing this side by negative 5. I'm dividing this side by negative 5. So it keeps it equal. Okay, negative divided by negative is a positive. 60 divided by 5 is 12. Okay, and that's going to be equal to a negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, which is what we want, and I get 1x. So x is equal to 12, and let's check it. So is negative 60 equal to negative 5 times positive 12? Well, negative 5 times positive 12 is a negative, and 5 times 12 is 60, so yes, it works. Okay, let's go ahead. You try this one. Okay, good. I already have the answer here, so I'm just showing you what I did. I rewrote my equation. Okay. Oh, let's not do that. Let me just rewrite the problem. That's probably too much at the same time. So let's rewrite. Oops. So we'll rewrite y divided by 2 is equal to 12. Okay, so this is taking something and I've divided it into 2 groups already. And in each group is 12. So I want to go back to the original, right? Division is making groups. So I took this and I made either 2 groups, or I made a group and inside of each group is 2. Okay, so I want to know how much did I start with, if I either have 12 groups of 2 or 2 groups of 12. Well, when you say it like that, what I can do is I can say, okay, well, let me put these 2 groups back together. So let's put it back together, right? Multiply by 2, and I'm left with y is equal to 12 times 2 is 24. And let's check it. If I have 24 to begin with and I break it into groups of 2, do I get 12? And the answer is yes, you do. Okay. Let's do one more here. Go ahead and you try this. Okay, now, if you were just looking at this, I'm guessing that maybe some of you decided that you said x would either be negative 1 or 1. Because you look at this and you're like, oh, it's division. It's 8 divided by 8 or negative 8 divided by 8. But we have to think about this. Well, what is this problem actually saying? Okay, I have some number, and when I make groups of 8, right, or if I make 8 groups, I get negative 8 in each group. So how much did I have to start with? If I make 8 groups and in each group is negative 8, how much did I start with? Well, then let's put those groups back together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this side by 8, and I'm going to multiply this side by 8. Okay? Another way of writing multiplying with those parentheses, right? So then 8 times negative 8, notice 8 touching against the parentheses. This means multiplication. Otherwise, it would be 8 minus 8, okay? So 8 times negative 8, that's negative 64, is equal to, okay, well, if I have something divided by 8 and then I get 8 of them, I'm left with just 8x. Okay, so x is equal to negative 64. And well, let's check this. Okay, is negative 8 equal to, if I start with negative 64 and I make groups of 8, do I get negative 8 in each of them? Okay, and the answer is yes. Negative 64 over 8, right? 64 divided by 8 is 8, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Okay, so my answer works. Okay, we'll practice some more of this in class. Make sure you bring your notes and so I can check them in.